part 3 of the interior layers of the round layer. We cut the back into pie sections. Remember, we have previously cut a 1-inch profile part, and we've had 1-inch radial. So I have this guide from here, and I traveled up to the back and to this point in the guide here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a little bit of that guide and take a 1/2 inch, and that's how I'm gonna start the haircut. We're gonna start here at the back part, right in front of the radial, to begin cutting this haircut. So the first part, there should be nothing there to cut. So we hold everything at 90 until we get past the parietal ridge. And this is still right on top of that ear, so the bottom portion we're gonna elevate upward. So you see how much, let me show you this way. Do you see how I'm elevating that up instead of holding it out straight at 90? I have to hold it here so that I do not cut that perimeter guide. So that perimeter guide right here is what I'm aiming for. Let's see if you can see that better there. So I'm holding this up, and right here, there's the perimeter, and I'm connecting that. So I haven't lost the hair on top of the ear. So take 1/2 of that, and as I start pivoting through the front, remember it still comes from this point here. And I want to be sure this connecting here, remember I had a guide here? That's what we're aiming for. Take 1/2 of that. So as I work through my pivot, it lays here and works your way up, and we're going to go through and end up at a vertical. So once again, here. So hold that up, there's my guide. So it feels like you're doing diagonal forwards on the pivot. Take 1/2 of that. Okay, I'm going to turn this way a little so maybe you can see from my perspective. So still pivoting radial, comes from the crown. Pie, hold that straight at 90. Walk that through, and I'm at the recession area here where we didn't measure. So sometimes you have to elevate just a little bit up there so you don't cut and have a hole here over the eye. So take 1/2 of that. As you're getting toward the top of the head, what's really difficult is students will start pulling this back this way, so they're not going to connect with that profile part. So be sure they're still pulling it straight out at 90 from the head shape. And then when I come around up here to my last one, I should be connecting. Remember, I have a guide here. I should be connecting with that. So that's one of the biggest downfalls when the student finishes. If they pull this up, they'll have like a huge divot right here, like that, because they're over directing it this way, or they'll over direct it way far this way. So once we cut that, add a pivoting radial, the way we cross-check is with diagonal backs. So I go through and look, pull it straight out from the head. There will be a little bit more length around the ear, that's okay, and around that recession there. But that's how you do it with a pivoting radial. And you notice on the bottom, I do not have a hole here at my ear because of the over direction. So now what I'm gonna do is show you a different option on the front right of the mannequin is we're going to take straight vertical partings. So this is a way you could do it, and I know if you teach skills, haircut, you have to do this and you can adapt this. So I'm gonna start here at that radial. So be sure I have some of that guide in there. And then we're gonna take straight vertical partings. So the first one will feel the same, but we still have to be sure that we're lifting this up. You see how I'm lifting this up here and I'm not cutting that ear guide. So I'm still taking half of it and I'm moving forward with straight vertical parts. So remember, I like to hold all the hair to manage it, but I only cut small portions and work my way down the head. So I'm still on top of the ear. So this bottom portion will need to be lifted up as we go. And I'm gonna turn it this way so you can see. So we'll continue to take straight vertical parts, but I want you to see how it looks from that view. So a cut, a little bit at a time, walk it down the plane, cut, and then I'm still on top of that ear for about the 3 vertical sections. So I need to take this and lift it up a little bit right here. Keep getting that hair out of my way. Taking straight verticals. See how this is looking on the side? A little different from the pie shape. Take half of it, move it out, add another 1/2 inch. And always remember to teach the students to cut down. If I come around here and start cutting upward, they're more likely to cut that perimeter off. So anytime you're doing the round layer, students will be way more successful if you teach them to cut down, because they're starting at their guide and measuring and cutting down into the perimeter. Come around here, see I'm ending up with my cheater guide there. And then this last one, be sure you comb this out at 90. Most people want to come up here and cut it straight up. That's not 90 from the head shape, this is 90. Just be careful at the recession area. You can over direct that back a little bit at the recession. A few strays there. And what's really important to do is to go back through and hold this forward and check and make sure you don't have any little divot there. And always check right through the center to see if you have balance. So I take about 3 inches straight down through, like where a mohawk section would be. And then also I'm gonna do the same thing. Take about a 3-inch section across the radial and check it that way. Do it on this side where you can see. So I take it here. See, there's just a little, and this helps connect those sections together. A few little strays there. And remember to always pull that bottom up. So if they take a huge 3-inch section here and a huge 3-inch section over the radial, everything pretty well is gonna match. We've already checked everything. So one test I like to do with the students, of course you can't do your clients this way, but it gives a visual. I tell them it's like a dandelion. And if we could put an air hose in her mouth and blow all her hair straight out from her head, it should look all rounded, a nice rounded layered shape. So it kind of gives them a visual of what that looks like, and then they can check and see if they're pretty balanced on the haircut.